Well, hello there, little stars. It has been a while. Hello, hello. I hope you're all enjoying the music. This is all from the soundtrack from Seduce Me 2. This is all the soundtrack. And it's, oh my gosh, I was not expecting it to be this fire, but oh my god, it is so good. It is really good. Make sure you all give props to Mr. Christopher Escalante, because he wrote, I think, all of the music for Seduce Me 1 and 2. He did a freaking phenomenal job at that too. Oh my god, like this is really good music. This is like really good. Hello, I missed you all so much. Hi, hi. I hope that isn't too loud. I will turn it down to be too loud. All right, goodbye. Hello, I'm back. Hi, it's been a while. I'm back though. I'm back. No, Prophet saw me yesterday. Prophet saw me yesterday. It was very cute. But yeah, oh my gosh, it's so fun to be back. I've missed this so much. You have no idea. In fact, I actually wanted to bring this up because I thought it was super funny. This morning, for those who don't know, I have constant lucid dreams, so I always am frequently aware I'm in a dream when I'm dreaming. I'm gonna turn that music down a little bit more for me. It's distracting. So I always know I'm dreaming. And this morning I was just going about it, just doing my little lucid dreamy thing. And the fucking lucid dream that my brain picked for me, because like I'm able to control my dreams, but I kind of just let them do their own thing. And what happened was my dream decided to pick of all concepts of me being late for stream. I woke up at 4:10 and I was like, oh shit, I need to start stream, and my computer wouldn't start and I was like panicking. I'm like, no, it's my first day back for stream. I need to turn on my monitor. I need to get everything set up. I'm so late. And like all of you were in chat being like, where's Kita? Did Kita forget about us? Did something happen to Kita? Oh no, Kita forgot. It was like halfway through that dream, I'm just like, what the fuck? This is my dream. Stop it. And then I just chose to wake up. I was so pissed. I was like, really? It's 1 p.m. Let me live. It's 1 p.m. Let me sleep. So it's really funny because I literally had a dream about this very stream and me being late for it. I can't escape even in sleep about streaming. Oh god, glad we strike fear into you. Jeez. Hi Antonio, hi. Welcome. It's so late. That dream is unrealistic because you were late. I'd be That is real. Prophet would be messaging me being like, girl, where are you? Where have you been? Where are you? Have stream now. You're supposed to be streaming. I never actually had lucid dreams. I've only ever known lucid dreaming, so I've only ever known lucid dreaming, so I don't know what normal dreams are supposed to be like. Like, I know there's a bunch of people who's like, oh, tell the time, like, look at a clock and ask what time it is in your dream, and you should start lucid dreaming. I'm like, no, because I get actual times whenever I ask what time it is. And it's like, it's realistic too. So if I ask like, hey, what time is it? And they're like, oh, it's 4:25. And then I ask like an hour later, it's like, oh, it's 5:25. And I'm like, okay. And it's like, they give me actual times. I've asked times, I'm like, hey, what time is it? And they're like, oh, it's 10:30. Every time. There is no faking that for me. I was like, I can tell the time in my dream. It's very weird. But yeah, no, I've only ever known lucid dreaming. I've only ever known it. So I don't know what a normal dream is like, because lucid dreaming's all I've ever known. If you were really late, we'd develop an artificial society quickly and begin an industrial revolution. Lucid dreaming was invented with the government to control humans. Yeah, I'm just jealous of people with lucid dreaming. That's fair, that's fair. Kita would oversleep for stream because Kita doesn't sleep. Yes, this is the truth. I wish I could lucid dream. I'd be unstoppable. True. The amount of fantasies I've gotten to live through because of lucid dreaming, the people I've gotten to talk to and interact with in my dreams is insane. the shit that I can pull off in a dream is real crazy. It crazy. It weird. I mentioned it to Prophet, but I had a dream once about like Twisted Wonderland, and I literally got to give Malleus a hug, and it was very nice. I got to give that man a hug. I was very happy. I got to give him a hug. I told Prophet about that. Oh, someone's telling Prophet to go to, Emmy to go to bed. Emmy, go to bed! Go to bed! I don't know, I feel like I'm louder than usual today on my bike. Ah, there we go. I think that's better. I don't know why. The fantasies I would indulge in if lucid. If I could give you some of my ability to lucid dream, Prophet, I would. Sad I couldn't lucid dream entirely because some ice cream in my defense. I was 8 and right for this. Yeah, that's fair. Dream once, but I woke up in the middle to get a snack. I have a question for people who have normal dreams. When you are having normal dreams, do you know you're in a dream, or do you believe it's reality? Because I get mixed stuff on that, because every time I'm dreaming, I know I'm dreaming. Like, I know full on that, like, nothing in this, like, nothing that's happening is real. I always know that everything that's going on in my head, like when I'm sleeping, isn't real, and that it's all dreams. Do you guys are you all not able to perceive the difference between reality and a dream when you are dreaming? That is my question. I'm genuinely curious. Yeah. Oh, wow, you have no clue. I hardly ever dream. Oh, I feel that. I'm so sorry. Really? You can't. I came close though. Okay. Cause like I can always tell I'm dreaming. Really? That's really funny. It sounds like you did a fake waking. Dream going to another. I actually haven't dreamt recently, at least none I remember, and that's because for the most part I know in the back of my mind I'm asleep, but I'm feeling actions, it's real, and I don't want it. It's fun sometimes. I know I'm dreaming, but it always feels so realistic. Really? Okay, yeah, no, this is what I usually get. I usually get mixed. Like, people being like, oh, I'm like asleep, but like, I know I'm sleeping, but somehow it feels super real. I always know it's fake. Maybe it's because of the type of dreams I have. I don't have first-person dreams. I always have third-person dreams. So, like, I'm watching, like, it's like a TV show. For me, when I'm watching dreams, it's like a TV show. I can feel everything that's going on, like through my character, like my person who's like who I am in the dream, but like I'm watching from an outside perspective. I forget the dreams, I only remember the emotions. Oh, really? That's cool. Really? Bakita, I don't have anything tomorrow. I thought you had a dentist appointment. I saw the beginning of chat. Don't try to lie to me. I saw the beginning of chat. I saw the beginning of chat. She unlocked third-person character in her... Yeah, no, I dream in the third person. So, like, I will see my person in the dream, and I can feel everything she's going through. I can go through everything that she's going through. But I know that I'm not her, and that this is all not happening. Camping. Like s'mores? My dreams are one of the 3 PVOs, first person, third person, and what I call controller. Huh! You'd think I'd know things were a dream because the amount of times fictional characters have shown up in them. That's tomorrow in the afternoon. I'm not lying, Mom, I promise. Really? Always in first person? That's so crazy. Oh, Emmy, you may stay for a little bit, but if you get tired, you need to go to bed. That's really cool. Because I've mentioned it to some friends of like how I've always kind of been able to do this. But interesting. Maybe it's because I grew up on a lot of like animes and TV shows and watching through kind of that third person perspective and like putting myself in their shoes kind of. Maybe that's why my dreams are always like this, but I've always been able to tell from like a very young age that all my dreams were in fact dreams. What kind of trauma did you subject your brain to Live in the third person. I don't know if I could say it on stream. That's the kind of trauma. I don't know if I can say it on stream. I don't know if I can say it on stream. I have a lot of childhood trauma. Let's just put it that way. In fact, my childhood trauma is so bad that I actually used to have chronic nightmares when I was a kid, to the point that my mom got so desperate to help me sleep because I had become an insomniac at the age of 6. I wasn't sleeping at 6. I refused to sleep because my dreams were so bad that my mom was so desperate that she got into crystals and like dream catchers, and she bought me a dream catcher. And that was the first night that where my control of my dreams really started to happen. Oh my god, you're calling live! Hi! Hi! Sorry, I saw people in chat. I was like, hi! But yeah, my mom is my family got really, like, my mom was so worried about how little sleep I was getting at the age of 6 that she decided that she was literally down to her bones. She was trying everything. So she got me a dream catcher, and that was the first time in my life I began to control my dreams. And ever since then, I've always been able to control them, and like, I usually just take a passive back seat in my dreams, but like, ever since then, I've been able to control my dreams. It's very cool. But yeah, no, without dream catchers too, I tend to get really bad nightmares. It's not fun at all. It's very not fun. Hello, it's so fun. It's been so long. How are you? Oh my gosh. Okay, so level 3 trauma. Oh no, I have level 5 trauma. I have level 5. I have level 5. Not to brag, Prophet, but I had a Dimitri dream. Can I have those? I'm excited to see you play Seduce Me again. I'm so happy to see you here. It's so fun that you're here. We've just been chit-chatting for a bit because it's been a while since I've been here. Also, before we actually hop into, I wanted to point this out because I don't know if you all can see it in chat, but I now have a little feature on my live chat that says top fans, which I hadn't seen before, and it like gives you all like ranks and like XP and stuff, and so I can see like who's ranked in like little friendship. Also, it's so funny that Prophet, you're ranked number 2 and you're my moderator. It's very funny. It's very funny that you're ranked number 2 as my top fan and you're my moderator. I find that very amusing. But yeah, I want to mention that okay, you guys have noticed. Yeah, you're the top fan. I've never had this before. I was really confused when I saw it, and I'm like, what is this? But hold on, let me read it for you guys, what it says. So, top fans and XP. What's the leaderboard? A place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream, so you can always try again. Do you know how to get on the leaderboard? You'll need to collect XP points or XP. Here's how you get them. Send live chat messages, send super chats, and super stickers. Yeah, so it's very cool. My ego is cruel. The system is rigged against me. I have a friend that ranks up 2 in his chat. I think it's weird, honestly. It is weird. It's very much like rewarding the people who talk the most. Which is like odd because, Emmy, I feel like you talk the most in my streams. I feel like you talk the most. I have no idea what the criteria is for XP. I don't either, but it's very cool. When I was 3 years old, I had a ton of nightmares. Oh god, I have a fear of needles. I have nightmares. Doctors giving me. Wow. I had fear. So I have a very bad phobia of death, for reasons. But I used to be really terrified of like things out of my control. So like natural disasters, like tornadoes. Those were the type of dreams that haunted me. Tornadoes would chase me in my dreams. Was not fun. Was not fun. It got so bad that I actually know all of the signs of an approaching tornado. I actually know the signs if a tornado is going to form. I know the signs. That's how bad it is. Who doesn't have a fear of needles? Honestly, I hate needles. I had such bad anxiety that nurses had to hold me down as a child. And since I've been here, though, stuck at 75 like the past 20 minutes. I don't know how it works, but it's interesting. Okay, but we've been dabbling, we've been chit-chatting for long enough. Why don't we play some Seduce Me? I feel like that would be a fun idea. Do y'all want to play some Seduce Me today with me? Yeah, but you need to talk like a lot. Getting tattoos would fix your feet. I've been talking. Okay, we're not gonna fight about this. Let's play some Seduce Me. Oh, don't feel self-conscious in my chat. You shouldn't feel self-conscious. Talk how much you would like. Talk however much you like. Talk however much you like. Don't feel self-conscious. But let's play some Seduce Me. All right. Oh, it's totally not picking this up. Really? Hold on. What the? What? Okay, maybe it's... Oh, it's just barely... Oh, okay. Okay, it is picking it up. It's just barely. That's fine. I mean, I was talking, mean yapping, true yapping. Yeah, no, we were talking for like almost 30 minutes. All right, we should play. All right, start. Whoa, da-da. Yes, power of lesbianism. The power of lesbianism. Let's do this. All right. Keto, why are you so amazing? Like, oh! Ah! What are you talking about? You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing, Emmy. You're amazing. Don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. We're all... Yeah, honestly, at this point, we just like yapping. We just like chit-chatting and yapping. Okay, I think everything's good to go. Let's play some Seduce Me. This is gonna be fun. Okay, actually, let me just... where is it? Okay. Okay, things are gonna flicky. I'm gonna make me a bit bigger. Hey! There we go. That's better. Okay, and then click here. It's gonna flash. We're all friends. We're all friends who like to yap. Truly. All right. Let's go through this. Let's do this. Yes.
Hold on there!
Oh my gosh!
Before you start the game, I need to ask you a few things. Don't want you getting lost now.
That was loud. You were very loud.
First of all, have you read the first story, Seduce Me the Otome? Like...
Hold on, you are very loud. You are very loud. I wasn't prepared for that. Can attest to my... Oh, yeah, we have yapped to like 1 a.m., if not longer. All right, that should be better. Let's try that again.
Hold on there!
That's better.
Before you start the game, I need to ask you a few things. Don't want you getting lost now.
Oh, Evie, thank you. You're so sweet. Thank you.
And take compliments well. Like, I'd rather you insult me.
First of all, have you read the first story, Seduce Me the Otome? Like, seriously read it. No skimming, no pretending to read it. No. It's okay if you haven't, but there are a lot of things in this game that you won't understand unless you fully experienced and understood that story first.
Chat, have we read Seduce Me 1? Chat, have we read Seduce Me 1? Like, have we really read it? I got Chris every day until you're making jokes. What is happening today? I'm literally on my first day back and y'all are causing chaos. Keto, don't lie. What? Better. What do you mean, don't lie? What did I do? What do you mean? What do you mean? I haven't read it. I read it aloud on this channel. If you guys want to read it, I have videos up on my channel. There's a playlist. You should go watch it. It helps a lot if you also, like, you go and watch my my other streams. You know. Just saying. Just saying. All right, let's go. Yeah, we read it. I don't know, have we? I mean, I haven't. Hey, nothing better than a Otome game on a road trip. That's how I like to spend my vacations. I haven't read Seduce Me 1 yet. Am I going to be arrested? Nah. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
I read it.
Next question.
Hi, okay.
You do know this is Diana's route,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
The succubus princess that tried to bring the boys back to the demon world?
Do I have 100% achievement on stream for it? I don't know. Fun fact, Prophet and I, we 100%'ed, Prophet 100%'ed Seduce Me, and I was there to support her through Sam, because she hates Sam. She hates Sam a lot. If you guys didn't know, Prophet hates Sam. I wonder why. Alright. Yeah, I know.
Oh, awesome. All right then. Diana's a very interesting character, huh?
Please let me know if audio's good, by the way, because I cannot tell. I cannot tell.
Anyway, I have one last question for you. Some people like hearing the trigger warnings before they start games, while others don't really care and just want to play. It's cool either way, but do you want to know about some of the content listed in the game?
Actually, we are going to go over trigger warnings. Because Michaela is putting them in. We're going to go through them at the beginning of everybody. Yes, please. We're going to go through trigger warnings. Stop eating Sam. Thank you! She keeps tossing him out a window. Yes,
No
please.
problem. It's my pleasure. Well, this game is recommended for players ages 18 and up. Trigger warnings include suicide, war, torture, mentions of rape, and a large amount of violence and sexual content.
Fair warning for all the people watching that these are things that we cover in Seduce Me 2. It is much more gruesome and a little bit more graphic than Seduce Me 1. A fair warning, if any of these things make you uncomfortable, you do not have to watch my stream.
Don't worry though, any sex scene choice you encounter is completely up to you. You can play this game without needing to go through the sex scenes and still get the good endings. Consent is important.
This is why we love Seduce Me, because it is probably the only type of ultimate game you'll ever play where consent is always required and never needed. You can give consent or you cannot give consent, and it does not change the outcome. What am I playing? Seduce Me 2. Did you not read the title of? Hey, okay, be real with me for a second here, chat. Do you guys even read the schedule I post or like the titles of the streams? Do you guys just not read them? Because sometimes people come into the stream and be like, "What you playing?" And I'm like, "Did you not read the title? It's in the title. It's Seduce Me 2, the Demon War." What? I jest, but we love it. Yes, we love that Seduce Me always asks for consent, but consent is not needed to get your happy ending. We very much appreciate it. Thank you, Red. Thank you for reading the titles that I put a lot of effort into for being funny. I can't read. I'm under... Get that name out of my chat. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. Schedules, that's funny. I don't know how to read. I feel that's cool. Okay, it seems like everyone can't read. It seems that's what I'm harboring illiterate people like myself. Got it. I read them. Someone's got to do the reading here. Very true. Prophet is the only one here who can read.
I think that should be everything. All right. Phew, that took a while.
That took 30 seconds. Hi!
You forgot something.
Someone's already appeared. Hi, Missy.
Huh? What did I forget?
You forgot about the disclaimer.
Oh, crap! Oh, how could I have forgotten about that?
It's fine, I'll take care of it. This game was produced by Michaela Laws using the Ren'Py visual novel engine. We truly hope you enjoy this story.
Thanks, Diana. Now, don't you have a war to go fight?
I do. I just wanted to make sure everything was in order before the story began. I'll take my leave now.
You tried to Hey! Yo! What the fuck? How can I read? Maybe I'm BB. I can't read. Yes. Emmy is baby. Emmy baby cannot read. Emmy baby cannot read. It's very common now. These games you play and look at the warnings, but I don't understand because I'm an Undertale fan. What? I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Oh my god! Reading Yu-Gi-Oh cards literally takes me 5 years. The Seal of Orichalcos, the Blue Eyes White Dragon, the Red Eyes Black Dragon, the Undefeatable Exodia. I know Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm cool. I played it as a child. Actually, fun story. One of my friends actually introduced another mutual friend of ours to Yu-Gi-Oh! And they both sent me pictures of them playing. One of the friend who was learning being like, I think I'm gonna win. And the other one saying like, he's learning and I don't think he understands. And then that other friend who was teaching him sent me the picture of he's confused on why he lost. And he fucking sleeping. Oh, it was so funny. Oh, we're totally going to 7, aren't we? I'm actually sick of reading, that's why I can read. Definitely read. I use Pot of Greed, which allows me to draw 2 cards directly from my hand. Oh my god, Pot of Greed. That is not a card I have heard in a while because I haven't gone to a Joe stream in a hot minute.
Thanks, Di.
Do not call me Di.
Anyway, we really do hope you like the story. Have fun. See you at the end.
Okay, choose some random popular cards, but Seal of Orichalcos is a specific pull. Listen! That was like the kind of the arc of the anime that I kind of just stopped watching at. The Seal of Orichalcos, when it was like, that was just the one episode. Those episodes, like when that was introduced, is like the one thing I remember is like when Yugi used it, the Seal of Orichalcos. Or like when that guy had like those 3 cards that were like really battered and like worn out and destroyed, but he still loved them because they were like his first 3 first 3 cards. So yeah, Seal of Orichalcos. That was like one card, and like I always remember that card. Here's what's up. Summon man. What are life points? All right. He does. Yes, there's multiple of me. I'm summoned RV. I love that one. All right, we're getting off track. This is Seduce Me, not Yu-Gi-Oh. God, I should play Yu-Gi-Oh on here. But this is not. Shush. Okay. I have to read. Shush. I was in love with a succubus. It was true. I had fallen for the charms of a succubus, and I was about to dive headfirst into the demon world with her to save her kingdom.
Do you have any regrets?
None. I smiled as Diana held me in her arms and carried us both through the night sky. We had shared a sweet kiss, the first of hopefully many in the future, and were about to cast a spell to enter the demon world. It's definitely been too long since I've touched Yu-Gi-Oh. I was still talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. Diana looked to the ground that was far below us and pointed her free hand down towards it, closing her eyes.
Revetara tenebras, gerato locum, pater portas.
As the last word left her mouth, a large purple pentagram appeared in the grass before twisting and becoming a black void. I gripped onto Diana, scared what I was seeing.
Last chance.
I gulped at the sight, not sure what to make of this. Was this really what I wanted to do? My curiosity, however, guided my decision and forced me to take a deep breath. I closed my eyes and let calm wash over me before looking up at Diana. Let's go. Diana smiled and wrapped both arms around me, laying a protective hand over my head.
Hang on.
I tightened my grip on Diana, obeying her command. As I held tight, I felt air quickly begin to rush past our bodies as Diana tilted back and began to let us fall towards the ground. Was she insane? Y'all are still on. Seduce Me the Diana's written 2 hours. Oh my god. Last chance. I know I can see Diana. Oh my god, wait, we need to start the sin counter! Sin counter! Sin counter! Start that sin counter for me, start that sin counter. I'm not gonna be paying much attention to chat. Prophet, that's your job. That's why I hired you, right? Love you, Prophet. Love you, Mom. I looked at Diana, seeing her smirk at me before closing her eyes. I did the same, naturally preparing for an impact with the ground. She was insane, +1. What I felt was a cool rush of energy brush over my skin, as if I had fallen into water. I slowly opened my eyes and found myself staring into a vast, dark space, holding on to a woman who was no longer wearing clothes. Woo! Pretty, Isaiah! I got this, honey. Go romance. Thank you, Mom! Thank you, Mom! I'll peer in every now and again. Reminder to everyone that Prophet has the bonking bat. If you cause trouble, she will bonk you. Be careful. I was clinging to a woman who had no clothing, but instead had purple markings across her skin and horns adorning her head. However, I could tell that this woman was still Diana, just by looking into her eyes. Diana smiled at me and kissed my forehead before tightening her hold on me and muttering softly.
Adlilith Castra.
I held onto her body as I felt us begin to move through the space, as if a giant fan had pushed us forward. Onward, we continued through the darkness, with me unsure of where we were going and Diana guiding the way. We began to slow, and soon a small light appeared, slowly glowing as we got closer to it. I had to shut my eyes as it began to consume us. The band. Yes, she also has the band going. Be careful. Beware of Prophet. Beware of my mother. I felt weightless. I couldn't feel anything except the woman in my arms, and I felt somehow exquisite. I wanted to drown in this feeling, become lost in it. However, our journey through the light was coming to an end. The light around us faded away, and soon I found myself lying on Diana as she lay on the stone floor. The air, however, smelt of fire and blood. I looked up, seeing fire everywhere in sight. What the hell? This was the demon world?
Isaiah!
A loud shout forced me to look over and see a man running at me with a spear and a rage-filled expression. I screamed and rolled off Diana, scooting away to avoid being skewered. As he continued towards me, I screamed,
No!
I looked up to see Diana kneeling in front of me and gripping the man's spear, pointing it away from her. The man stared wide-eyed at Diana as she glared back.
My lady, you live?
Of course I do. I told you I would return, and thus I have.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Hi there, Mama. Hi there, Mom. Hi. Hello. Hi, Mom.
Not again? What? Not again or what? She's gotta make that money. Not again. Oh, God. Oh, but Mom. Does that mean I get to flood the basement this week? Does that mean I get to flood the basement? It's only fair. She set the kitchen on fire again. The man gave a small sigh of relief, lowering his weapon and propping it up to lean against it. As I examined him, now that he wasn't gunning for me, he was wounded and exhausted, panting heavily and gripping his spear tightly.
I'm so glad.
As he finally toppled over, Diana gasped and rushed over, kneeling beside him.
Settle!
I rushed over as well, wanting to see what was going on. Who was he? Why did he attack me? Why was the room on fire?
Settle! What happened?
We were attacked by the Demon Lord. He took advantage of your absence.
I began to cough violently. We needed to get out of this room, wherever we were. Diana, we need to get out of here. Diana nodded and grabbed my hand and Sero's, chanting under her breath. The room around us began to shift as if it were changing instead of us moving. Soon we were outside a castle, staring at it as flames erupted from each window. What was happening? Diana's face was of pure shock, staring at the castle in absolute terror. All the color, besides for the purple marks on her skin, had faded to a pale white in horror.
We drove them back, but the flames are too powerful.
At that moment, something in Diana's eyes changed. Her anger sparked and she stood, quickly walking around us and towards the castle. Diana!
Come! I command thee, white winds! Crush these fires beneath your hands!
I don't want to know. I take 1 minute to look at chat, I see ego, and I leave. I stared as the wind in the air quickly began to pick up and a purple glow began to surround Diana's body. It was like a storm was rushing towards us, but there was no rain or thunder, just wind. The winds forced back the flames that danced in the windows and smoke began to rise from each one. Signaling? That is a word I have not read before. Signaling? I did not read that. The death of the I don't. Is that signaling? Is that how you spell signaling? Signaling the death of the fire. I think there's a Kita, no flooding the basement until your mom says that. Damn it! Come on! The windows continued to be filled with wind and air, most likely to kill the flames deep within the walls. I, however, could only stare at Diana. Her body was rigid, and her gaze was intensely focused on the stone castle. Soon, the winds began to die out, and all that was left was smoke rising from the windows into the dark purple and black sky.
You did it. How?
Diana looked to Sero, intensity still embedded in her eyes.
Where are the king and queen?
I heard Sero's breath hitch, and I turned to look at him. He had a look of pure pain and guilt. What had happened? Diana walked over and stared down at him, now almost glaring daggers at him as she clenched her fists at her sides.
Speak, Seto!
The imp demons. While we were fighting the flames and the army, the imp demons snuck through our defenses.
My heart, despite not fully understanding the situation, began to tighten. Something was incredibly wrong. Sero shut his eyes as a pair of demons I assumed to be allies rushed over and began casting magic over his body, closing his wounds.
They snuck into their room.
Diana suddenly turned and bolted towards the castle, causing me to jump up. Diana! I began to sprint after her, following her inside the castle and trying to keep up with her. Her panicked breath kept me following her direction, despite her fast twists and turns through the ashy corridors.
No.
I could hear Diana sobbing, praying as she ran. I did my best to keep up, not wanting to lose her, and not wanting her to be alone right now. We turned into a long hallway that had a pair of golden doors at the end. They were unscathed, as if the flames had not disturbed the door or perhaps the room behind it.
Please be alive. Please!
Diana bolted for the doors and began to pull them open, grunting at the weight. I stopped running, skidding forward almost from the abrupt stop. Whomever she wanted alive, I hoped that they were as well. As the doors finally opened, however, the foul stench of blood erupted from behind them, the scent filling my nostrils. Gah! Diana flung the doors wide open and could only stare at the sight we both saw. Blood. Blood covered the floor, the walls, the ceiling. The entire room was painted in gore, skin, bone, and massive amounts of blood. Only 3 things, barely coated in red, stood in the middle of the room on the ground. 2 broken crowns, and a small tiara that was barely large enough to fit a newborn's head.
No.
Diana slowly walked into the room, the blood on the ground painting her bare feet, and she fell to her knees in front of the items, staring down at them. I couldn't bring myself to enter the room with her. I watched as she lifted them to her chest, curling her shoulders over herself and shaking almost violently.
Father. Mother. Audibel.
As she continued to grieve over the ornaments in her hands, a dark, almost deadly and evil-looking aura surrounded her body. It began to flicker and glow like a dark flame that wanted to engulf the room she knelt in. As it reached an apex and began to violently flicker through the room around her, Diana arched her back and screamed to the ceiling, her voice heavily laced with magic, pain, and rage.
I'll kill you!
Yo, Michaela Laws is a great voice actor, by the way. Sorry, I want to make that a little lighter because I am being quite dramatic. Bro, I went from 0 to 1,000 so fast. I do want to make this a little lighter because Diana does have a really heavy story. We just started. I wanted to pick it up just a tiny bit because that was a little dark. Can you pick me up? Yes, please pick me up, Appy Juice. I would love Appy Juice. Yes, please. Yes, please. I would like Appy Juice. Diana sounds kind of mad. Really? Couldn't tell. I couldn't tell, chat. Just a little. Just like how I am very calm all the time. I am very calm. Just a little. Yeah, just a bit. Chills gave me goosebumps. Yeah, just a pinch. But Michaela's a very good voice actor. She's very good at her job. She's very good. Very good. Mm-hmm. Wanted to give that a little pick-me-up because I am being, for the sake of reading sakes, and because I'm an actress, I am over dramatic. I'm making this very dramatic. I'm making it very dramatic. Be more excited for the rest of the story. I might forsake sleeping tonight to stay here. I'll kill you, Diana. That is pinned. That is being pinned. I'm pinning that. I fucking love that. Diana said calmly. Hold on. Me. Oh, can I? Oh, there. Okay. That should be able to track me better. Okay. Yay, thank you. In our defense, prophet, woman. Yes. Y'all picked a heavier route to start. Yeah, to be fair, though, prophet, lesbianism. Being gay. And titties. Just like, can you blame us? Can you blame us? Kita, I'm very calm. Quote. I'm Kita screaming. Someone needs to make that. Someone needs to make a compilation of me just screaming. Can you give me ice cream? Sure, you heard fair. In our defense, women. Yes. Good. Yes. All right. I don't know if I read this. Okay. Watching her body burn in the intense black and purple flame-like energy made my heart stop in fear. I had never seen her like this, and I was scared as to where her anger would drive her next. Okay. I do have a walkthrough. I'm the last person to convince about titties. I have a walkthrough here. Make me sway. Okay. This walkthrough isn't very good. Hold on 5 seconds. Can I find like a good walkthrough, please? That'd be great. There's Diana. Okay, stop her. All right, there we go. Encounter in case I forgot. 4. Good. Oh no! Sorry, I need to continue reading. I apologize. As heartbreaking as the situation was, I couldn't let her anger consume her. Not like this. If she wanted to vent her rage, then it was better to aim it at the one who wronged her, not to let it burn in the room where her family died. I stepped into the room, blocking the waves of energy from my face with my arms, and eventually made my way to the screaming Diana. Diana! My words couldn't reach her. I stepped closer, almost towering over her, before dropping to my knees, bracing myself and wrapping my arms around Diana. Her screaming stopped, and her body froze within my arms. Diana quaked, like a shivering child in my arms as I pressed my forehead against her hair. Diana, we'll get your revenge, but you must save that rage for the fight. I was met with silence as my reply. After a moment, Diana finally slumped into my arms while the energy around her died out.
You're right.
Diana and I left the room with her unable to turn around and look back. We walked through the ashy corridors of the castle, Diana silenced by the sight and by her own grief. My heart was heavy for her. Still, the demon lord who had done this was still a threat at large and who knew when he would return. Diana led the way to a room, which, as expected, was as burnt as could be. However, Diana waved her hand through the air, casting some sort of silent spell. Through some sort of something Asian. That is a big word. Oh, hello. What did I miss? Yes, what 7 said. What 7 said, yeah. I like some of those words you said. Work in dreams, meh. That's a big word for kayak, so nope. The ash and soot in the room vanished and the furniture and decor were repaired. We at last stepped in, with Diana slowly lying down on the bed, unable to carry on any further. Looking at Diana's face, her eyes were puffy and red, while her skin almost became void of any color beyond the tint of her demon marks. If she wasn't breathing, one would assume that she was dead. Diana stared at the ceiling, a world of emotion swimming in her eyes. Despite what had happened, at last she spoke.
I need to send you back.
What? What? Huh? What? What? I'm gonna adjust things, because I'm noticing that, like, when I'm looking off to the side, my mic's not really tracking me. Or my camera's not really tracking me, so I'm just gonna slightly just tilt things, so I'm more so leaning. Hopefully that helps with the tracking. Am I working to get Kita and help? I don't know. We gotta fund our daughter's education somehow. What do you... What? Okay. What? Now was not the time to think about me, and I knew it. Besides, I came here for a reason. I wasn't going to go back knowing that Diana needed support. I had no regret in coming here, and I would help her through this. No, Diana.
It's too dangerous here.
I don't care, Diana. Diana sat up and slowly and looked to me, a form of weak anger in her eyes. However, she knew that it was fruitless to argue with me. After all, she made a deal with me, and I could see the obligation to obey buried behind her anger. Diana closed her eyes and lowered her head.
The Demon Lord will most likely return.
And we'll be ready for him. I gently took Diana's hand and lifted her chin so that she had to look at me. The anger that was plaguing her melted into sadness and broken hope as she stared back into my gaze. There were remnants of rogue tears adorning her face, and seeing her so scared, scared made me frown. I knew that we would get through this. We just needed to rest for now. We would deal with the issue this world brought after.
My lady?
Diana and I turned our heads to see Seto by the open door, and I stepped away from Diana, giving her space. Behind him, multiple soldiers, servants, and other demons rushed down the hall, most likely to check for other issues and possibly try to fix the damage on the castle.
Yes, Sarah?
Who is this human?
Your biggest fucking problem, sir. Dang, you forced her. What? What is this, Yandere? Do not bring that game into my... No. Do not bring that game's name and soil. Do not bring that game into my chat room. Never. Do not. Never. Read, what were we talking about? Oh, why must I be lectured? For a brief moment, I could see a look of disdain in his eyes as he looked to me. However, it only lasted a second as he looked to Diana, waiting for her reply to him.
Sarah, this is my guest. She came back with me too.
Diana looked to me, trying to find the words in my eyes. What was I to her? My curiosity bubbled as I also awaited the completion of her answer.
She came to aid me in this war.
But what of your fiancé? What of the other sons?
They are gone. They have disappeared into the human world, and I can no longer trace them.
The guilt and grief in Diana's voice deepened, most likely reminding her that she saw the result of failing moments ago. Zero, however, stepped up to Diana and knelt in front of her, surprising me. What was he doing? He was a guard, first off. Why was he being bold enough to step to her?
You didn't fail, my lady. The Demon Lord attacked us despite giving us his word that he would wait for you to return. He broke his end of the agreement.
I know.
Staring at Diana and Seto, I could see that they had a very close and deep connection. Was Seto a friend, or was he something more? I could recognize the emotions within Seto's eyes as he looked up at Diana. He looked to be in love with her, or at least had some form of ultimate care for his lady. Seto gently took one of Diana's hands and placed his lips upon it. Instantly, I could almost see energy flow from his body into hers from the kiss alone. Was this how energy transferal worked when you weren't the giver or receiver? The color in Diana's skin returned and she let out a sigh with her body relaxing at last. Seto, however, continued to keep his lips over her hand. Something in my gut irked me about him. The length of that joke had not touched... What? Also, Sarah got worse poor. Oh, Lord. Not that I was against Diana getting energy, but Seto seemed to be extremely cozy with her, and being that she was someone who I potentially wished to be closer with, this was now an obstacle I had to slowly break Diana away from. Diana and Seto both looked up to me, with Seto lifting his head from Diana's hand. At least it worked. Realizing what was going on, Diana looked to Seto and smiled nervously before pulling her hand away from him.
Thank you, Sarah.
Seto, however, stared at me, most likely knowing why I did what I had done. After another flash of disgust flashed in his eyes before he looked to Diana and bowed his head.
I am forever here to serve.
Seto stood and stepped back, looking to his mistress and to me.
Do we plan to retaliate, my lady?
We will. I expect the Demon Lord will come for a second attack, not realizing that I have returned.
Mika has 2 hands. And she wants them on her, right? That's the thing with Mika. She wants them on her, both hands. She doesn't want... I can't say that. Nope, I can't say that. What can we do then? Diana looked to me, a small glimmer of fear in her eyes, but her resolve rekindled and she let a serious visage cover her expression.
I will meet him on the battlefield should he come again.
My lady, you've just returned.
That I have. But the Demon Lord will not care if he learns of my return. If anything, news of my return will spur him to attack sooner than later. I must be there and stop him.
Diana looked to Seto with a cold expression, making Seto stand up straight like a guard he was meant to be.
Tell everyone to mend their wounds and prepare for a second invasion tomorrow. I expect the Demon Lord will be ruthless enough to attack in the morning. Let everyone know as well that their princess has returned.
Seto nodded and turned to the door to do his job. Before he exited the room, however, Diana called out one last thing to him which seemed to make him freeze.
And when you are done, please retire to my room. I will rest here for the night with my guest.
As you wish, my lady.
With that, Seto left and closed the door behind him. The way Seto answered Diana seemed forced, but I could understand why. After all, if he had feelings for her, I became an obstacle for him as I was with her. That didn't stop me, however, from wondering where I stood with Diana. She was going to stay here with me. This was my room? Diana let out a sigh and moved in the bed to rest against the back wall of the bed.
Come, we must rest.
I nodded and walked over, lying beside her. However, instead of Diana lying down, she guided my head to rest on her lap. You're not going to sleep?
Demons don't sleep, dear. At least not in this world.
Why not?
Because if we shut our eyes for too long, then we open ourselves up for someone to take advantage of us, or kill us when we're not aware.
I gulped, now worried and frightened to sleep. Diana chuckled, however, and patted my head.
You can sleep, however. I will be resting, but my eyes will remain open.
Can you truly rest like that?
Demons and humans are different, dear. Demons can function for years without needing to rest, as long as they continually feed on energy. However, demons can rest to stop spending energy. Thus why we have beds.
My curiosity began to peck at me again, but my exhaustion took control of my body. As I felt my eyes gradually shut, I could hear Diana whisper.
I hope that you don't mind me taking your energy as you sleep.
Before I let sleep consume me, I shook my head. It was all right. Diana needed as much energy as she could for whatever the Demon Lord had in mind. I felt almost a bit honored that she was taking my energy from me, as it was. At least, sleep consumed me. Oh, at last, sleep consumed me. Despite what was happening around me, the world of sleep was peaceful and calm. For the moment, I could truly be at rest. At least for a moment.
My sweet Isaiah.
Hey, bye, Mom! Huh? I looked around the darkness of my dream, trying to pin down the direction of Seto's voice. Why was he in my dream? There was no reason for why he should have been here. The sounds of footsteps echoed in my head, causing me to grip over it and look around frantically. What was happening? At last, a line in the darkness opened up to reveal it was an open door. Opening it was Seto with a kind smile on his face, staring into the dark space. What? I looked to him, but he didn't seem to notice me as he stepped into the dark room and walked past me. I followed his walk and gasped at what he was walking towards. Now illuminated by light, I took in the sight of Diana in a jail cell on her hands and knees, weak and frail as she stared at the one approaching her.
Seto, what is happening? Why am I...
Shh. Everything is just fine, my lady.
Ew. My heart stopped as I watched Seto kneel in front of Diana and slid his hand between the bars to lift her chin. Diana seemed to nuzzle his hand softly and unconsciously, making him chuckle.
Soon enough, I will destroy the Demon Lord and hand you the throne of the entire world. Everyone will bow to you as their queen and ruler, as they rightfully should.
Seto, I don't understand.
You may not understand now, but you will in time. I promise.
Diana crawled closer to Sarah, wrapping her hands around the bars to keep her up.
Where is she? What happened to the human?
For a moment, Sarah stared at Diana, looking completely oblivious to what she meant. Hey, I'm right here! Despite knowing what I was seeing was a dream, I instinctively called out to Diana, hoping she would see me regardless. To my displeasure, she didn't.
Who are you talking about, my queen?
Okay, I was wrong. I'm a better. What the? I'm not reading chat. I don't know what's happening.
You know who, Sero. She...
Sero silenced Diana by gripping her chin hard, making her gasp and stare up in shock at him.
My lady, I don't know who you are talking about.
Diana whimpered in his hold in fright. Fear painted over Diana's expression as Sero pressed his forehead against the bars to stare deep into her eyes. I felt myself rush at Sero and try to grab him, but my hands merely passed through his body like I was a ghost.
My lady, you must stay here for now.
Why?
Diana's single word died out as she stared into Sero's eyes. Something in her eyes began to shift from red to gold. However, her black pupils slowly morphed into glowing black crosses. What was Sero doing?
Because I have not yet finished the Demon Lord, my love.
My love? Why the sudden change in name? I could only watch as Sero leaned back with a grin.
Once I've finished this war, then you may come out and fulfill your destiny, with only me at your side.
Staring at Diana, I watched as she began to shed tears. But they were not clear as water, but black as oil. On her chest, a black burn in the shape of a cross appeared, glowing with some sort of dark aura.
May those useless memories burn away. Remember only the one who has served you his entire life.
Sero! My words were futile, but I couldn't stand there in silence. However, as Diana's tears finally stopped, the stains on her cheeks began drying along her skin. Sero stared into Diana's eyes, burning his gaze into them.
Now, do you remember the human?
Who?
No, it couldn't be. The burn on her chest flashed a bright white aura before settling down, revealing the permanence it had over her skin. It was a real scar on her flesh, no longer a fragment of magic. Sero smiled lovingly at Diana before guiding her head forward and leaning it to kiss her between the bars. Diana closed her eyes and practically moaned against his lips, most likely feeling some sort of energy from it. However, Sero pulled away gently and made Diana pant slightly in need. Was she that desperate for energy now?
Never mind, my love. Forget I said anything.
Sync count 8.
Now rest.
Oh, sorry. Sero ran his fingers down over Diana's cheek, causing Diana to shudder at the touch and let out a pleasurable sigh.
Now rest. Nothing will harm you in here.
Sero was yonder it. I was right. Or a banana, since there's no apples. Diana nodded before slowly laying to the side and letting her body slowly shift to slumber. With another chuckle, Sero stood and turned around.
That human's life for a stone destiny. A perfect trade, if I do say so myself.
I snarled and rushed at him, but wound up running through his body and falling to the floor. Sero walked back towards the open door and stood by it to look back at Diana with an almost evil-looking smile.
Nothing will keep us apart anymore, Isaiah.
I jumped up and ran at him, but as he stepped through and closed the door, I found myself shooting up out of bed to sit up, panting.
What? What's wrong?
I looked over to see Diana, sitting in the same spot as she was when I fell asleep and staring at me with wide, concerned eyes. There was no mark on her chest and no crosses in her eyes, which made me feel somewhat relieved. I looked around, trying to see if Seto was in the room, but he was nowhere to be found.
Are you all right?
Bro, what? Okay. I might have fucked this up. We'll find out. Tell her. Whatever. If I fucked it up, I'll fix it off stream. I'll fix that off stream. Oopsies, my bad. Oh yes, remember to hydrate. Thank you, Emmy. Thank you, Emmy. I had to tell her about the dream. I turned to look at her. I turned to her, took her hands, making Diana gasp and stare at me in even more confused shock. I had a dream last night. Seto locked you in some sort of jail cell and wiped your memories of me, and I couldn't do anything, and...
Wait, stop. What?
Diana took one of her hands from mine and placed it on my head. Did she seriously not believe me? I glared as she stared at her hand. It's true.
I believe you, but I want to see it for myself.
I stared at her, now realizing that she was taking energy from my forehead. Diana closed her eyes and remained silent for a moment. How would she react? As she pulled her hand away, she smiled at me.
It was a nightmare, dear. I'm sorry you had it. But I can assure you, no magic like what you saw exists, nor would Sero ever do that to me.
I stared. I could see the genuine feeling behind her words, but something in my gut wouldn't let this go. How could she be so sure that magic like that didn't exist? What if Sero was a terrible person? But what if...
Sero has been with me ever since I was a child. I would know if he was a bad person. There's nothing to...
Suddenly, the door to the room burst open, causing Diana and I to separate and stare at the intruder. It was a soldier who seemed to be a runner for the army, judging from his outfit.
Princess, the Demon Lord approaches!
Diana was right. The Demon Lord was going to show up today. I looked to the far window to see the sun barely open up over the oddly colored purple sky. It was morning, as Diana predicted. Diana quickly threw her legs over the side of the bed and stood, pointing to the guard.
Tell every able-bodied soldier to head for the gates. I will be there shortly.
Yes, Your Highness!
The soldier ran out, followed by a handful of soldiers that either accompanied him or were heading in the same direction. I looked to Diana, surprised to see her ready. How much energy did she take during the night? As I got a good look of her, something about her seemed to have changed, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
I have to thank you, you know.
No comment needed. Huh? For what? Diana turned to look at me with a smile. As she did, I could see a faint layer of purple energy surrounding her, her form and her eyes glowing completely gold.
You gave me a large amount of energy last night.
Her voice echoed through the room, making me internally shudder. She sounded almost ethereal, and the power behind her voice almost drowned my senses. It was as if she were no longer a simple mortal, but a goddess. How much energy did she consume last night? As the energy and glow in her eyes faded away, Diana smiled. Diana gently took my hand and rushed me out of the room, guiding me out of the castle. Around us, servants and soldiers rushed in one direction or another.
I need you there beside me when I face him. You won't be hurt, I promise.
I followed step by step, nodding in reply. I felt a bit honored that she wanted me with her, but I shook off the excitement, knowing what I was walking towards. The Demon Lord was approaching, and we would be face to face with it. Glad to see you all in chat enjoying. Hope you all are enjoying the stream. I hope you all are. Give me a large amount of energy last night. The coffee and nightstand. Ethereal, a goddess. Dang, girl, you glazy. Aw, Diana led me through the castle grounds and onto the battlements overseeing the distance beyond the kingdom. So, where a large line of creatures lined up and outlined the horizon, I felt my heart stop as the tallest figure stood between them and us. Taller than any man I had ever witnessed was a man I was meeting for the first time, the Demon Lord. The mere sight of him sent fear down my spine. But this was the man who hurt Diana, so he was my enemy.
City of Lilith, rejoice! You will fall before the sun reaches its peak.
Diana released my hand and stepped between the embrasures of the wall and walked through the air towards the ground like she was descending an invisible staircase. As she did, I jumped at the sound of the soldiers on the ground, pointing their weapons towards the incoming army.
Risi masculum dintera, estes terame facietua.
So that's why you're so quiet, bro. Yeah, Prophet was quietly plotting, that's all. Diana's voice bellowed through the air, causing the line of creatures to step back in fear. As her feet touched the ground, the air seemed to pulse with energy. However, the Demon Lord stepped forward with a dark grin.
Succubus, you have returned. You have failed to bring my sons home, it seems.
Reme posteres me estri pic mae, nihil tibi dibio.
The Demon Lord laughed at whatever Diana had shouted, making me worried for Diana. Would she be okay on her own? She stepped forward a couple feet before pointing her palms towards the ground.
We got our first CG!
Fair enough, fair enough. Could someone... Oh, translate? I believe the Latin translates to something around the lines of, you broke the deal first, I'm just retaliating. I think that is what the Latin is translating to, is that she's telling him, like, you broke the deal first, I'm simply repaying the favor. Yes, the Demon Lord is, like, the OG boy's dad. Diana is, like, a Hispanic mom. Funny you say she's like a Hispanic mom, because if any of you know Aphmau, she plays Aphmau's mom in the series. She plays Manuela. I think that's her name, Manuela? I forget her name, but she plays Aphmau's mom. Michaela Laws plays her. So funny you mentioned that, because she constantly screams, running around with a chakla. Before my eyes, on Diana's back, the markings adorning her skin began to dance and weave before detaching themselves from her body and forming two large demonic wings. They flapped against the air in unison, causing a large gust of wind to push forward.
Soldiers of Lilith, come to my side if you wish to shed my enemy's blood.
Yeah, no problem. I've played this game enough to know a little bit of what they're saying. I'm not fluent in Latin at all, but I can get the gist, generally. I get a gist of a lot of stuff with languages. As Diana spoke, the soldiers who had gathered at the front rushed forward and stood in two lines at Diana's sides, pointing their weapons at the Demon Lord and his army. In number, Diana and her soldiers were outmatched 10 or 20 folds. However, something told me that the battle would be in Diana's favor. At my sides, a large line of archers pointed themselves and aimed at the army, ready to fire on command.
Steady, men!
I looked to the side to see Seto walking down the line with his hand raised, waiting for a signal. However, the sight of him made me remember how he was in my nightmare. Could he be as evil as he was then?
Patro verdis, astit covevo mimica.
From Diana, a large, thick tendril with gigantic mouths began to quickly sprout and spill out, form a magic circle, floating above her chest, sliding around her body and down towards the ground. As I stared, I could recognize the shape of the mouth from when I first. Oh my gosh! Can I fucking read? Of the mouth from when Diana first met me, when she dangled me over it before letting me make a deal with her. Soon the tendril released itself from Diana's body and took physical form with purple and black scales, a head form where its teeth was, convulsing with new movement as a wicked purple tongue lashed from its newly formed mouth. A giant 100-foot snake now stood between the Demon Lord's army and Diana's army. It hissed at the creatures in the front line and quickly began to slither away in hunger. I didn't get a chance to watch it attack. It turned back to Diana to see her lift up off of the ground and form a purple saber in her hand, lifting it above her head.
For the pride of Lilith, to battle!
Can someone think of this thing counter, please? I'll look something up. I'm gonna Google this stuff, be real. Okay. At her last word, Diana flew forward and slashed through the air, causing a large purple arc to shoot out of her saber and strike down a section of Demon Lord's front line. I watched as both armies charged forward towards each other and began to clash swords. Beside me, a rain of arrows flew from the battlements down towards the incoming section of the Demon Lord's army, causing me to duck in case they returned fire. To my surprise and glee, the Demon Lord's army couldn't push Diana or her army back. They held their position and cut down every enemy that came at them. The Demon Lord, watching instead of fighting, glared at as Diana flew through the air, cutting down sections of the army with ease. For some reason, I'm not getting any. I have no idea how the XP works. I'm sorry, I have no idea. The snake that Diana had summoned was dealing major damage to the enemy as well, carving through lines and devouring handfuls of them at a time. Each time it did, it either got bigger or became much more menacing. I could barely take it all in. The battle was merciless, seemingly endless. Diana's army was small but had strong morale, cutting through the Demon Lord's men with ease. The archers beside me continued raining arrows on the incoming soldiers, hoping to nickel and dime their numbers for the ground troops. I was glad that Diana wanted me there, but I knew that I wasn't ready to fight in a war, so I kept crouching to watch the battle safely. Eventually, Diana's armies began to push back, forcing the enemy soldiers to either retreat or try to regain ground. Diana, however, decided it was time to deal with the real threat and swooped towards the Demon Lord. Both demons arched their weapons at each other. Diana with her saber and the Demon Lord with a giant sword, and clashed steel. As they did, purple flames and red lightning spasmed from the impact and pressed against each other in a battle of strength. The Demon Lord looked so much bigger than Diana, but somehow Diana matched his strength and did not budge in the parry.
How? You cannot be this strong!
You know nothing of true strength!
I don't remember what we're at, sorry. Some of the battle around the duel stopped from just the sheer sight of Diana matching the Demon Lord's power.
I am the Princess of Lilith. I will defy your will and save this world from your tyranny once and for all!
A collective gasp echoed through the air as Diana somehow managed to push back against the Demon Lord, forcing him to step back in the parry. Diana was doing it. She was defeating him. The Demon Lord slid his sword from the parry and swung it again at Diana, making her block, but failed to push her back. He repeated his attack twice, 3 times, but continued to be pushed back each time. The soldiers around them took in the morale, inspiration, and fought back tenfold, forcing the Demon Lord's army back over the arching horizon. Diana and the Demon Lord, however, continued to clash swords, beating steel to steel. As the Demon Lord finally jumped back, he formed a large ball of red lightning in his hand, shooting it towards Diana like a flash of thunder. The attack impacted, sending Diana flying back. But with her wings, Diana managed to flip back to face the Demon Lord with ease. In retaliation, Diana formed a spiraling set of purple fireballs above her hand and chucked them at the Demon Lord. Jesus, blah, 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 blah. This is a lot of reading on my end. Also, I guess we'll just have to pick 11. Is that a flashback? With a glare, the Demon Lord slashed through each fireball, forcing them to dissolve into the air.
Isaiah!
Diana glared hard in reply before flying at her opponent, slashing through the air with her saber. From there, it became a battle of blades and close-range magic attacks. Neither side would give in, and no soldier dared to step in, afraid of being the victim in one of their attacks. The duel became blurred by the sheer speed passing between them, frantic and powered at once. It was seamless. It was slightly dazzling. Finally, the two slid away from each other. Diana was intact, breathing heavily from exerting so much energy, and the Demon Lord was weaponless. Adjusting my eyes, I could see that he was no longer carrying a weapon and was gripping his arm tightly to stop some wound from bleeding out.
How could this happen? How?
As a guy says, I love a person who would literally just kill me. Yes, a very famous line from Cowboy Bebop, and I live for that line. Diana didn't respond. She flew forward to enrage him, but stopped as the Demon Lord's body became overcome by red lightning. As if the lightning had ended him, the Demon Lord's body vanished.
I will return, and your kingdom will fall!
His voice echoed through the air, haunting everyone and making the trees around us bend and sway at its might. However, as the voice died out, the army the Demon Lord left behind vanished as well. It took a moment to take it in. We had won the battle. We fought and drove the Demon Lord and his army out of the kingdom. We did it. Quickly, the soldiers and Diana's army cheered huzzas for their victory. Diana's snake vanished at last, and Diana herself slowly began to fly back towards me. I was grinning ear to ear as she slid between the embrasures to the. I can never figure out what the fuck that word is to me. However, I did not expect Diana's eyes to roll into the back of her head, and for her to collapse against me. I wrapped my arms around Diana as she indeed fainted in my arms. Diana!
Isaiah!
As I collapsed on my knees with Diana in my arms, Seto rushed over and dropped to his knees beside us, taking one of Diana's hands. Diana, however, didn't react, even as energy began to flow from Seto to Diana's hand. I think I have to kiss her. This will probably be the last thing we do. Oh, wait, we're only at 5. Oh, damn. No, we can go a little longer. I'll take a break and we can go longer. Mwah, mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Mwah, mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. She needed energy to recover, and I had to help. I gently took her head in my hands and kissed her, letting her unconsciously take my energy. I could feel warmth slowly coming back to Diana's skin as we kissed, making me slightly smile. Diana's free hand gently slid up between our bodies and cupped itself over the side of my neck. If Diana was awake now, she was enjoying the kiss. She was enjoying the kiss we were sharing and wasn't going to let it go just yet. I could feel my nerves dance as energy slipped from me into Diana's lips. Before long, Diana disconnected that flow, pulling away slightly to look up at me. Diana slowly lifted herself up onto her feet. Instinctively, Sarah and I both grabbed onto Diana's arms, helping her up. Can I fucking read, please? I'm reading too fast. She looked to both of us with a kind smile.
Thank you.
I couldn't tell which of us she was thanking, but I accepted it with a smile of my own. You did it, Diana. You drove them back. Diana chuckled a bit before standing up straight. Her wings had been folded against her back, splayed out behind her near us, causing Seto and I to step back. As Diana began to speak, her voice booming through the air, the cheers around us became silent.
Friends, we have won this battle. but they will not be gone for long. This is the beginning of a war to end tyranny, to end chaos.
It's funny you say that, Seven, because that's the joke that all of us constantly make. But I'm more of a prophet than prophet. Just saying. Just saying. Because I have been able to correctly predict things about friends without needing more than 2 guesses. I'm still very proud of that, and I will gloat on that. I could tell that every demon in the area had their ears and hearts open to Diana. I felt myself become full of courage just from listening to her speak.
You have shown great courage today, but you must build even more for the war ahead. The Demon Lord will try to cut you down, but we will prevail. As I am the last living heir to this grand kingdom, I swear unto you all that I will fight until the very end and free this world of the evil that is the Demon Lord.
Loud.
With this, I urge you to stand with me and fight by my side, not as my subjects, but as my brothers and sisters.
I guessed it was so little info, and then I guessed another one of our friends' dead names because they asked me to, with only 2 guesses, which I'm very proud of. I was very proud of that. It took you guys forever to guess mine. It took you so long.
I ask now, who will stand with me?
Oh no, Prophet's very good at predicting romance. Very good. Kita, Prophet. Well, I am their child. I am Prophet's adopted daughter, so it makes sense why I am, in fact, a prophet. I am a mini prophet. Kita Prophet as a second channel confirmed. If I get big enough, I'll make a collab channel with just Prophet. Hell yeah, that sounds like fun. The sound that came after was loud and eardrum piercing. The sound of 1,000 cheers beat through the air and showed the allegiance of every demon in the area, and then some. I could only stare in awe as Diana took in everyone's cheers and took in a heavy breath. It was then that I knew that I had become part of something grand at the side of a woman who would change history. I didn't know your type well enough. The following days were full of chaos. The Demon Lord tried to come back and reclaim his pride, but Diana somehow managed to press back with ease, giving him more wounds than inflicted before. It was like the castle became an impenetrable fortress. Soon, word spread around the neighboring kingdoms of the Demon Lord's defeat and continued failed attempts to attack. Many leaders sent messages of allegiance, which Diana humbly accepted, and soon enough we drove the Demon Lord's army far back away from us. After every battle, she would wind up in my arms, which in the slightly oblivious with much to the slightly obvious disapproval of Sarah. Whenever a demon questioned my presence, Diana would simply wave them off with a small token of praise towards me.
She is my most honored guest, and she is here to help us win this war.
Still, the thought of what we officially were began to make me concerned. Did Diana see me more than an energy source and ally? We had kissed before we returned, but since then I couldn't have been more unsure. I began to question myself. Why was I here? I could only shake my head in response. I shouldn't doubt anything. We were in the midst of a war, and with Diana at the front, she had many responsibilities. Many that I could never even hope to think on. The pinnacle moment of our relationship, however, came when a brute demon stormed into the castle all on his own. He was unarmed and carrying a single item which made many demons step away from him in fright. What time are we? It's 5:41. Okay. We'll read a little bit more and then we'll yappy. Actually, I might stop here. Mika regretting way too late. +1. We're at 16. Funny. Oh, okay, actually, I'm gonna take a breather really quickly. Woo! That was a lot of reading. I think Diana's A is the shortest route in Seduce Me 2, but B has the most reading, I believe, because everything happens from Mika's perspective, but there's not enough characters who talk that frequently. I think it's mainly Diana and Settle who talk during this route. So like I'm gonna be reading a shit ton. Whew. Emmy's with me and Matthew Train. We know, yeah, Grass likes Eric. Oh gosh. That was a lot of reading. Oh gosh. I'm okay. But my type is cute girls. Okay. Fair. Eric cute. Yeah, Diana has the shortest route, so we'll probably maybe get it done in 2. Hopefully. But like, whew. Oh my lord. Okay, actually, while we're here, I'm gonna look at if I fucked up earlier. Okay. I'm gonna... Open that. And then I'm going to go back. I need to check if I fucked up earlier. Sorry, I'm not gonna see chat for a moment. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so out of breath. Diana. Dial-up points. It says +1 here. Bro, why? Kiss hurt. Oh my lord. Okay. I might have to look for a different walkthrough because for those who don't know, there are 2 endings with Diana. Both, like 2 good endings, by the way. 2 good endings for Diana. I'm not gonna say anything because it's spoilers, but I know which one I want to go for. Well, we'll do both. By tracking. Okay, there it is. We're gonna do both, but I have to find a better walkthrough because everything's confusing me right now. What? Like when I was through the game. Hello, I was gone for a while. Hi, you're good. Don't worry about it. I can send you the walkthrough I used. Yes, please. Yes, please, Prophet. That would be great. That would be very helpful, Prophet. Okay. You know what? I think this is a good place to stop for today. I think this is a very good place to stop for today. Hold on a moment. Oh gosh, I am out of breath. Oh, we got a good song playing. Okay. Whew! That was a lot of reading on my end. I hope all of you enjoyed it though. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that. Oh, it was a lot of reading. Alright, go pop. Alright, thank you. That would be great. Yeah. Whew! Ah, gosh, that was way too much reading for my liking. But that was fun. I haven't read this. I did read this route really quickly when I was younger, but like this is my first time like actually like properly reading it. So I'm going with you all on this too. So this is like not just you guys alone in this adventure. I'm also having fun with this. So I hope you guys are enjoying. I hope you guys are liking Seduce Me. Genuinely, because I really love it. And I hope you guys are loving it too. Oh, there's a sin tally. Thank you. Replace pin. There you go. There's a sin tally for today. We're at 16. I definitely enjoyed if I had money. Fair. Is it on sale right now, actually? Hey, Prophet, while you're in Discord, could you also open up Steam and see if Seduce Me, the complete story, or Seduce Me 2 is on sale for the summer sale event on Steam? If you could, please. That would be great. Thank you. Because right now Steam is doing a summer sale event. I don't know if Seduce Me 2... I don't know if Seduce Me 2 is on sale. Thank you, Prophet. I'm not Mega ROM visual novels fan, but I am enjoying. Yay! That is awesome. Hey, if you're enjoying, that makes me happy. Because that's why I do this. Because Seduce Me is genuinely a really good story, and I feel like more people need to enjoy it. I like so many content creators I know who do like visual novel readings, I feel they don't get a lot of views anymore because it's like a lot of people don't really love the genre, or like they're popular for a time and then they fade away. So I just really wanted to cover this because I really enjoy Seduce Me and I think it's fun. Oh. I'm gonna be here for a little while longer because I'm not gonna stop till around 6 because I got some time. I just wanted to break from reading because I just wanted to yep. As the Seduce Me. Okay, Seduce Me. Hey, great news for all of you who like the game. If you wanna, Seduce Me, the complete story, and Seduce Me 2 are both on sale. If you're going to get one, I recommend getting the Seduce Me, the complete story, as it has Seduce Me 1, Seduce Me 2, and all of the episodes, bloopers, and extras that came with all the other versions of Seduce Me. Thank you, Prophet, for checking that for me. That is amazing. I think... Did I put it in the description of this video? Hold on. I don't remember. Let me check. I did not. All right, I will do that moving forward, but it is on sale. So if y'all want to check that out, you should. Thank you, Prophet, for checking that for me. Whew, that was a lot of reading, though. Oh, you're keeping us captive longer? I mean, just till 6. I just wanted a break from reading because, oh my gosh, I was not prepared for that. And my water is downstairs. And my mouth is like really dry right now. But yeah, no, I'm just gonna be here yapping. So if y'all want to ask questions, I'll be here. I'm just gonna be here yapping. That's all. Not to sound like, you know, but I wish the demon form were more monstrous. That is, okay, so... The reason why they're not monstrous is because they're succubi and succubi and incubi. Seto, I can't actually say that. That's spoilers. But there are some demons who look more monstrous than hot. There are some that look more demon-like. It's just that 12 more minutes, lol. It's just that the incubus, they're meant to be seductive, you know? They're sexual demons. They're supposed to be like, they're supposed to captivate you and make you want to sleep with them. So that's why they're kind of pretty. That's why they are pretty. And less monstrous. But like, there are some other demons in the franchise that I do know have like more monstrous looks to them. Just saying. It's just that we focus heavily on the prettier demons because we have a lot of incubi and succubi in the series. But, you know, romanceable ones just... Yeah, it's just because all of them are incubi and succubi. That's the biggest reason why they're pretty. That's why. Yeah. It's 10 minutes. I have 10 minutes. I just want to chit-chat, you know, because we were chatting earlier, and I was like, oh, this is fun. We chatted for like 30 minutes. Ask questions. What are the difference between optimistic nihilism? I know a nihilist is someone who doesn't give a shit about anything. Optimist is the person who sees the good in everything and tries to be like happy, is like kind of considered happy-go-lucky. They try to keep everything bright. I guess I don't know the last one. I do not have the last one. You are very good, Emmy. Yes, you are very good. Head pats, papa pat. You are very good. I think that is the difference. Because nihilism, we talked about it a bit in Slay the Princess, and I'm also working on editing that video, finally. Am I evil? I don't know. Are you? Also, I'd be cool with a collab channel since you brought it up earlier, lol. Maybe later. I'm a bit of a nihilist and a bit of a pessimist. I'm definitely a pessimist. I think a better term for me would be a realist. I want to believe there is always good, but I am very, very aware that the world does not work like that. And trying to keep people grounded in reality is kind of just what I do. So I'd say I'm a realist, if anything. Yeah. Funny you brought that up, because I was literally working on Slay the Princess not too long ago. Was literally working on Slay the Princess video. Prophet can contest, I showed her a clip from it yesterday, because I'm getting creative with my editing style. I'm getting very creative. Yes, Prophet, you are very much an optimist. You are very much an optimist. Not pessimist, realist is better. Is better. I'm not gonna like say like everything is garbage. There are good moments, but like, yeah, there's gonna be some shitty ones too. That's just life. Because I've got 3 pieces in my pie of what type of person I am.
That's okay.
And hey, no one's perfect. We struggle with all these types of things. And like looking at the psychology and philosophy behind it, nature versus nurture, and kind of like, you know, all that fun stuff. It is very real. I'm a realist, lawfully chaotic good. I'm a nihilist, a pessimist, and a realist. I am but I guess that's probably on brand for me. Yeah. Fair. It's, hey, to each their own. To each their own. Everything's different. Everyone is different. Ain't nothing wrong with that. As long as you don't use it to bring down others, I don't care how you view the world. Everyone views it differently. I think that makes it a great thing. I think it's great to have different perspectives on everything. So since we're asking questions, will you ever learn to read? That is a great question. A question I don't know the answer to. I could learn to read. I could not learn to read. Funny enough, I read Japanese very well. I can read Japanese like hiragana and romanji really well. Not so much katakana. I'm very bad at katakana. And kanji. Don't even get me started on kanji. But I can read hiragana and romanji very well. But we'll see about that. We shall see. I can answer that. No. Thanks. Thank you so much. So kind. So kind to me, my chat is. Oh my lord. I find it better to believe the best in people and even... It's better later.
That's why we love you, Prophet, because you see the good in everyone.
Prophet sees the good in everyone.
That's why we love Prophet, because Prophet's the goodest of them all.
There you go. Change the subs to Japanese. No, because I don't think there is any subtitles in Japanese. I want to see in the world. I want to see the good in the world, but I just can't. Yeah, that's fair. I live like that too. Are those in the opposite sides of the spectrum? Wait, what? And a realist. You can be an optimist and a realist. Like you want to be like you're optimistic about the results, but you're based in reality. You understand that that's not how the world works. So no, you can be an optimist while also being a realist. You love because I'm also like an optimist with both. I'm most strongly a realist. I want to be optimistic and think the best in the world and everything around it. But I understand that reality can be cruel and that nothing, like there are things that will never go my way no matter how much I wish it to. That is something that is very possible. Prophet can see the good in everything. I could use some help finding mine. Oh dear, Prophet, you got some work to do in chat apparently. Oh my gosh. No, they're so goofy. There. Alright. I'll quit from that since I'm not using that. Y'all are funny though. Grass, you're a fun and entertaining person. Yeah, no, fun fact, Grass. I sometimes send pictures of your comments to Prophet because I know that I may find them cringe, but Prophet gets a full-blown belly laugh and enjoys them quite a bit. You have entertained my mother, quite a bit. She very much likes your puns. She likes them a lot. I think that's me. I'm trying to filter without persons. One thing in my head. The lyrics of ATO, this world is cruel, yet I still love you. Aw, I like that. I like those lyrics. I shouldn't have said that. I'm bad at taking compliments. I like the mother. Yeah, she's the mother. That's what Prophet is, the mother. I like that. That's funny. The mother. That's cute. I like that a lot. I like puns. I'm just bad. I'm just cringe. That's all I am. I'm just cringy.
I am just cringe.
I like puns. I just don't get. That's this. Oh, I knew exactly which one you want. 世界を散歩くらどれでも君はおのしよまじまりせいにしても You're not cringe. That's debatable, Prophet. You saw the clip from the fucking video I was editing yesterday. What was I on? Oh my, the amount of editor's note I made of like, what the fuck was I doing during this recording? You know what? Actually, it was probably because I was very hungry, quote unquote hungry. I hadn't eaten yet, and we had really good food literally right behind me during that entire recording, and I wasn't allowed to eat because we were recording. And I'm free. Okay, what song's playing right now? Mika's theme. Okay. You finally watch K-pop? No, I haven't yet. I ordered 2 Rumi wigs, and I'm planning to watch it while I'm working on the wigs. That is the plan. It's when we accept our cringe that we are the most fun. Oh God, you got Prophet started. All right, you know what? You know what time it is? It's 5:58. So that means stream's over. Haha. We've been going for about 2 hours. You know, that's pretty good. I can only handle so much reading in a day. And we got Fire Emblem on Thursday. I'm excited. I've been playing a lot of Fire Emblem off screen. I've been playing. Funny enough, how I said I'd never play the DLC of Fire Emblem again. I'm currently replaying it on hard mode, and I'm very much enjoying it. Getting ready to cosplay before watching? Very much so. We're all cringe, but everyone who isn't cringe is trapped. Oh my God. Time for the end. Dang. All right. You know, hi, other mother. Hello. All right. But with that, everybody, that's the end of stream. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. It's been an absolute delight hosting ya here. But with that, little stars, that is all I have for you tonight. So I shall see you all another night. Until then, keep shining.